had. You know, I utilize cardinal air, fixed water, beautiful fire. You know, sometimes the imagination shows where you're gonna fall to. Alright, lights. What your spirits really wanna go to heaven for? Yeah. I just struck the floor, I look just like a checkerboard. When you in the sky, being too heavy, going through all the weather storms. Happens all about experience, but you know that you never sure. You're like God, yo, nobody knows you like boss knows. On one hand, you got Malakut, the other hand, you got the cosmos. Yo, love you throwing some sports and shit, it's on the level when the fire blows. Baby, I like out of cheese, but you wanna talk about, got some nachos. Damn, shit is getting in our dreams. Two colors on the other side of us, now we getting in between. We walk up 3 steps when you going past up the altar. Don't be taking no bullshit when you trying to pass up the bar. You think you really know about the constellation, but that's to the author. Because you in the third dimension, I forgot to mention that it's a gospel. Yeah, I done seen 9 heavens. Goddamn, Apollo man, 3 degrees ahead of 357. Yeah, let's dance, 357. Let's dance, 357. Tell me what's going on in your brain. Yeah, tell me what's going on in your brain. Yeah, let's dance, 357. Let's dance, 357. Tell me what's going on in your brain. Yeah, tell me what's going on in your brain. Yeah, that emotional parting. Yeah, you got yourself together, or is your heart emotionally hardened? Smell, taste, hear, see, feel, after you done made you a triangle. Got that little bitty light inside of you that made you survival. Yeah, need to dance a little bit. Get together, cause all is all. Everybody look, we all the stars. Baby, we all climb off the fall. The rest just gotta put it both ways. Don't backstab me, feeling like the OJs. Gotta get our character together, merge like a Siamese. Smoking at my eyes, getting low, square like a Chinese. Got me chilling in the sky like a bird right beside me. Degrees put another point, make it curve like a 90. The space ain't got surroundings, you need to express more relatable. The third, fifth, and the 7th house. When shit gets spooky, better mouth. Everybody learn your lesson now. What is going on in your brain? We about to go into a whole other world, all aboard, we are in a plane. Let's dance, big bang, man. Let's dance, big bang, man. Tell me what's going on in your brain. Yeah, tell me what's going on in your brain. Yeah, let's dance, big bang, man. Let's dance, big bang, man. Tell me what's going on in your brain. Yeah, tell me what's going on in your brain. Yeah, the sad, the flag, that shit that's aberrant. You'll understand that it's the billionaire.
6 kiss.
We are some stars, we are some festival. Let's dance, big lights and let's dance, big lights and tell me what's going on in your brain. Yeah, tell me what's going on in your brain. Yeah, let's dance, big lights and let's dance, big lights and tell me what's going on in your brain. Yeah, tell me what's going on in your brain.
And all of that, yeah, all of that. And we're gonna learn about it. We're gonna get some real circumstances up so you can know that we already here in the spiritual world. We already here. Yes, you already are. There's always the holy, already, holy, already, absolute. Don't be putting no words there. Y'all say don't be giving that no names and stuff like that. I'm going too far and stuff like that. Just listen to the holy ones. Sit your ass down a little bit. Listen to the holy ones. Y'all, I'm saying the already. They already there. Where you at? Already beating some butt head and stuff like. Oh yeah, to adult like real mind metaphysics, mind mother chip, motherboard, manufacturing, programming, channel system. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to my channel. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we're gonna understand some real stuff on how to look at it, float through the astral world, know that before we even like broke anything down, it was like it's gonna be a stepping stone. We're gonna build something to the top of the head. Had to be in your mind first. You had the right mathematical transitions and stuff like that, or you was sheep. You might have been sheep anyway. Go gather the bricks. You go gather the gravel. You go break down the kata and break it down in the cha. You know what I'm saying? Make sure it gets so we can get all the chickatoo and get all and break it up. And you put it together and let me stand on it. Let me be on top of the mound. Massasoit. But on that, I got the mass. I got the mass and what? But on that, what? That's the new outlet for the goddamn city. I got the what? Ain't nobody got more watts than me. I got the most power residual plug-in systems program. You know what I'm saying? I got the most watts. Nobody bright light bulb on top of your head watts stronger than mine. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Eons worth of watt. I said watts. You put that, you put it in the esoteric world, the mass, and then they go to the masses and a massa, so you get it from the massasoid. You know what I'm saying? The mamanatoid. I'm saying, and after that, you get this in the flesh. You get it on the ground. We can move mountains now. You know what it means. Please don't be saying this pseudo. Try to test this. Don't practice this at home. You ain't gonna move nothing. I'm saying you're gonna be somewhere stuck up under an ice glacier or some. I'm saying, wait, call me. Oh, just call me. You gotta call Ghostbusters and shit. Like, oh shit. All that shit. You gotta call Ghostbusters. Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray. Oh, I'm still saying a proton pack face, Slimer pack face, and all of that. But yeah, you might think this Ghostbuster stuff that we doing, though. I'm telling you, the spiritual world is deep. It's cold, and you gotta look at each form like a cloud. It's a spirit inside of it, and that cloud is a fart one. So you gotta, oh, that's a retarded thought. Before you even jump in the physical world and be like, oh, because you will see billions playing out that retarded energy. First, you want to see where that energy come from. What is that? You know what I'm saying? What is that? You know what I'm saying? Put the little Ghostbuster gas thing up under. You know what I'm saying? Suck that shit in the goddamn underworld. You know what I'm saying? Damn degenerate thought. You go find them all. You go find, get Bankman, get all of them. You go find it all. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. Then after that, you know how to do some esoteric, goddammit, go gadget energy and shit like that. Or Carmen Sandiego. You know, ain't where you ain't going in the goddamn spiritual world. Because it is locations. States you could be in as your spiritual being. You know what I'm saying? States of being. Some of y'all be lost too much in the solid. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all be lost too much in the liquid. Some of y'all be lost too much in the gas. Okay, gas, you lost in foggy land, cloudy judgment, you retarded. Liquid, you lost in your emotions. You can't see nothing past your damn own ego and your self-bias. Solid, you damn robot. It's all about the money. All about the Benjamins, baby. You see where that guy end up behind bars. Without shit, ain't no logic behind. You know what I'm saying? But these like different states, and they all got areas. So you got to understand the gas, liquid, and the solid. The atmosphere, the structure, and the landmass. Now you in the esoteric world. Now you know where you at. You ain't just lost somewhere like you was in goddamn Constantine and he had to go to hell to save Isabel. Oh, Isabel. Oh, Isabel. Oh, real shit. Where's Isabel? Goddamn co-op for Jezebel. Oh, put on that. You think I don't know? You think I don't know? I played Pac-Man. Also, I played these video games. I knew the goddamn Mortal Kombat Blood Code on the Sega Genesis. You know what I'm saying? Think I thought it stopped? Cause y'all updating Matrix movies and shit. You think I can't see codes? It's like, oh, but on that. I see the codes. You gave yourself up before the Matrix even came on. Y'all showed us 1, 0. So you already programmed us to let us know. There's a code to this. There's a code. That's it. That's it. You gotta be cold though if you're a director. Cold next to a little piece of paper to get that code in right. And a person just look at it and say, hey, great movie. Still broke. Ain't got nothing to do with nothing in the world. You know what I'm saying? We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about all this shit. Little stepping stone, 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, 4. No, 4. Somebody think they 6'6" in a goddamn spiritual world. Shh, you ain't shit. You caught an esoteric brick. Oh, but we got to know what that means. Now, we ain't even got to wait the 12 minutes. Check this out. Now, when you get into a situation of you don't know nothing else but building boats and ships and trying to survive, you got a lot of intelligence on that. So when it comes into pilgrims, replace that. They want to create pilgrimage everywhere. But before then, something that might be good for someone else may not be good for you. See? So a lot of times, this takes us into dichotomies, biases, things we come up with on our mind all the way to God's, and justifying it and trying to cope with it and things of that nature, especially if we're doing degenerate shit. And whoever we're doing degenerate shit on, we got to create this other seed, narrative. Demonize whoever we did something to. So our degeneracy don't look so bad. It don't look so bad. You've got blood on our hands, but at least my blood next to a water faucet or something like that I stole from somebody's land and make it. Besides the fact, we just getting the nuance on your mind. You know what I'm saying? The psychology. Once you understand that, because we ain't even got to talk about no game or no nothing. if you want to talk about games, whoever made a football game, that was the spirit that they're in. So they self-projecting. You just got lost in all the money made from the self-reflecting. And then when you realize you did some shadow work, shit, you might have been making money, but goddamn, you ain't got no brain cells no more and shit like that. You retarded. You need 8 lawyers and shit like that. And you still ain't worth a damn. Shitting bricks in the brain. You know what I'm saying? Floyd Mayweather. I mean, I'm sorry. No, I'm saying I ain't not Floyd Mayweather. I slipped out. Get back to spiritual shit. Get back to that spiritual shit. All right? You know what I'm saying? So look, boom. The psychology. Anybody could be WASI'CHU. I'm gonna tell y'all that right now. Didn't Akon just lose that city right? I'm saying anybody. See, I'm saying anybody could be WASI'CHU. Don't just give it up to one skin color and shit. Y'all lost in Mormonism. Y'all lost in Mormonism too much. Man, a lot of Mayflower boat don't even exist no more. Oh, say real shit, but don't get too lost in colorism and shit like that. You'll be mad at everybody, and then goddamn it, you really just mad at yourself. So chill. We're going to break things down real nice and easy. You know what you're looking at. You know how to go about it. You know if you want to put on a tuxedo or if you don't. You know what you're up against. You know what you're going to fight. The end. We all spiritual people. Boom! You know what I'm saying? Get more creative then in that thing. You know what I'm saying? You got to end up in behind jail bars and goddamn in the halfway house for 18 months. So when we think about the psyche, now I had to get that clear though, because the psyche could play out through any retarded person. It just so happens in history, a lot of it came from pilgrims. I'm saying. Now, once you in that energy and shit like that, right? You got people that you might look that lead to point A, point B. We might be on somebody else's land, continent and stuff, because we really ain't got no more trees and shit like that. Now, peep game. Once you go to someone else's land, you start to realize, people over here already, and they got things established. Now, for the most part, this ain't nothing new. You know what I'm saying? Based upon trade route. So for the most part, for to survive, when it ain't getting so deserted, trade route could be a little bit more peaceful and everybody go back home, and wherever you go, stay for 2 or 3 days, and you can see the kindness of people, because you ain't around them 24/7 to see they in-house or whatever they got going on. But in a nutshell, they still have something going on. So we ain't gonna get that going. We ain't nobody in their own government. You either got destroyed and colonized and you ain't win. That's it. Or you just ain't had no government at all. You got hit upside the head with a few swords and got put on the back of a boat, and that's it. But there's no other 2 ways around it. Ain't nobody just had no civilization and it just disappeared underwater. No. And if somebody told you that, I guarantee you getting that knowledge and history from the winner. You know what I'm saying? So when y'all understand that shit, if I want some shit, I don't give a fuck about the descendant like that. You know what I'm saying? After they come up, I'm trying to be a good person, but shit, everything ain't about to break everything down to detail. You know what I'm saying? Just for you to find me in every detail. I'm trying to make it apparent that I'm the devil if I'm the... No, I'm saying shit. You gotta think shit be cold when it comes to linguistic knowledge of Alexandria and shit. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta get cold to the next little piece of paper. Y'all be all right. You'll be all right. You'll be all right a little bit. Now, peep gang. Once you extend that, you know you ain't really starting from no God. You starting from some get down or lay down because I gotta eat type energy. You know what I'm saying? Now, when you go to different land masses, you see some things that's like an establishment already, right? Forms of government, forms of building, right? Kind of even remind you of what you already doing before you goddamn chop too many of your trees down to try to make it look like something it ain't. You know what I'm saying? So you thought one thing was good, materializing, couldn't breathe and couldn't find no food. So you start making oatmeal and plucking up stuff that's genetic fungus and shit like that, and just making bacteria foods and shit like pack of noodles on salt bogs of Vienna sausage and shit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. For the most part, boom, shit start getting desertated, but you got a lot of people, a lot of groups, y'all building a lot of shit. Just can't uphold it. Here's where the first seed come from before we even get to World War I, World War II, World War III, after they destroyed us Native Americans with all the Indian wars and shit like that. AKA, let's build some shit and go broke. And then when we can't do all this and we need the people we putting in slave, not producing a product, and now it's just business, entertainment, education, religion, and politics. Back then it was get on the field, build this brick. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be. Oh shit, I think we need a revolution because British economy man started to think too much. Oh, I'm saying, no, we don't want everybody to be up under British economy man. We want our own shit. We'll fight. That's it. But so that started by themselves first. You know what I'm saying? All these is early seeds of what we gonna do because we ain't got no more trees. All right, now look, check it out. You know what I'm saying? We got to save the motherland. They got to save England. England. All right. Now, once you're on different lands, you're not just taking over at this point. You an accommodant. You living amongst with an alternative motive, but with the people that you're going across not knowing the alternative motive, just knowing the original purpose. Hey, this trade route. You're going to get your monkey ass back on the boat and leave 3 days. And we made good money, good business. Get settling energy now. All right, now we just settling now. Now you get, I want to live amongst you because I'm getting hit upside my head too much where I live at. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, boom. So, you know, it ain't no God on that side of anything yet. And a lot of language, gibberish. So you're going to need interpreters, all kind of shit coming from somewhere else because you want to live somewhere you don't belong. All right. Now, this happened in Africa and things of that nature, but I'm just breaking it down from my perspective and where I'm from and things of that nature so y'all can see what's going on and we can update it. You know what I'm saying? It's just a computer chip. That's all it is. You just got to program it with the mathematics and stuff like that. And always, if we program it with more of the love percentage scale and stuff like that, it separate the genocide aspect of it and stuff. So when we get into that aspect, this allows you to fight a real spiritual fight. The real spiritual warfare, not just no little punk ass one that they can set you up that was previously ones before that it might have been intelligent before based upon the circumstances, but now that things are updated, it can be used as a way to exercise the flaws within it based upon whoever got the books and whoever the descendants and whoever exercising it on other individuals who don't know themselves but still carrying out their same duties and obligations. So this allows you to protect yourself with an esoteric legitic system. So you could reverse that in the physical world and understand how to fight with linguistics, but the legitic, that's my word, legitic system in the spiritual world is this, wearing the cloth also pertaining to your ancestors too. So that's important. And then that'll let you know what percentage scale of power or less of a comprehension that you have so you can start developing it. Or if you're attached to a powerful lineage, you can know when to start to harness your stuff based upon previous contexts and circumstances and experiences. So we can all still move through the higher percentage scale of the love concept, programming it into the computer chip. Now, so when we get into them learning people, right? What you're going to hear is this, or what you're going to see as a starting point before you get who's ever writing the history. You have to have the projection, that's the history, but the self-reflection, that's the person's subjective or bias. And due to the fact that we know who degenerate or not, that's not going to be part of the conversation, but it's also going to add nuance to even you see it's like what you're seeing in the external world, you're not seeing it in its true layer. So even if you're reading a book or you're reading something about history and literature and things of that nature, you're not seeing the actual layer. For an example, right? You might go watch a Friday the 13th movie, right? And you just like horror movies, but you're not actually understanding the layer. The author, the director of the movie, what the fuck kind of mind state is they in to be able to go ahead and make that something to be interested in and stuff like that. And then if you know you got ancestors that wouldn't make that something popular, then for the most part, then you know this person has a form of nepotism for their stuff to even be on the shelf, on the bookshelf, for their stuff to be on the, you see what I'm saying? It take you through a different layer when you're looking at the actual reality, other than this being born in this time, and you're totally lost into TV forms of information. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of get lost, and then you don't know how to compare and contrast. So you constantly go broke waiting for the next scary movie to come out, and someone might be utilizing a whole context that might even have something to do with how they destroyed your people with the whole motivation behind it of why they consider that to be important to make a Friday the 13th movie. You know what I'm saying? And when you don't get into that, you could be getting rocked to sleep in a way that you could have been getting rich, or at least seeing these ideas of how things is negative and start exercising how to change the world for these things can't continue to be, especially if you in a culture or part of a lineage that's crippled, and that's one of the main reasons. And there's a lot of other reasons that you just got to put the two and twos together. And then for the most part, this allows you to be able to fight spiritually sufficiently. You know what I'm saying? With the legitics, spiritually, linguistics, physically. You know what I'm saying? Therefore, you're able to not take yourself into hasty situations, still be able to enjoy the movie, separate from all the bias, and put yourself into a position where you could be creative. And anytime that get blocked, you actually have root, or you have grounding to, or reasoning to whatever intellectual concept or property or argument or legal legalities you want to get into. You know what I'm saying? Whether you feel like you're owed something, whether you feel like you just want to go about something and have the same opportunity as someone else, or whether you feel like you're in a situation where you're getting blocked and things of that nature, where there's no reason for you to get blocked if someone already got the one up on you and you're not even in a position to even try to fight back or want to fight back. So there should be no reason for another person to be invested into you, especially if you're a stranger, but you're just part of the lineage, or even if you're not a stranger. You know what I'm saying? To put you in a condition to cripple you when there's no reason or outcome of it being negative for that individual's position. So it just takes you into that kind of understanding of how to see things in its natural layer before y'all just get lost into the synthetic layer, but you're still looking at the natural qualities. It's just, for the most part, you're just blinded by all the synthetic things that it puts you in. And one of the main things it puts you in is survival. Now, when you're on the land, So we're understanding the psychology right now. When you're on the land conducting relationships with other individuals, it's also how pig gang language comes to be. But if you're gaining admiration, what slowly but surely will become something that you hate these individuals about, if you want the things that they have, will be how they're establishing themselves. So here's where it comes into land, people equate to spirituality, and that spirit teach all the multiple of how to conduct the land. And when y'all do it in a relatable way, you're closer to God. When you do it in an unrelatable way, it's negative. And any external representation, you may blame these things, but you know internally it has something to do with the failure of which you may have lacked to maintain internally or didn't see, so you didn't externally prepare yourself for it. And a lot of times when it came to us, it was being too open and kind to individuals who was manipulating in areas that we're not necessarily paying attention to. You see what I'm saying? So it's not about you're being weaker because you got manipulated. It's people spending more time thinking about manipulation when you're not even into that or even aware of that's what's going down. See what I'm saying? So for the most part, that doesn't make a compare and contrast who's closer to God or not. That just make human one side wanting to justify some degeneracy and another side of a person just having to realize can't be too kind. But once we create a moral system around it, we could try to be reaching equilibriums, and one equilibrium that don't deserve to be put in that discussion may be the generalizing or optimizing concept of something when we create moral systems, and that could be put God in that pocket and stuff like that. And then we'll start blaming God on things God ain't got nothing to do with and shit like that, and start to justify with our own degenerate natures and shit. So we have to be careful. And that's all actuality, whether you want to believe it or not. That's the concept of playing God or trying to serve two masters, plucking from something that you wouldn't be here without. Whether it ain't, we ain't gotta look at it like it's God. You was born in a world that water is already made, but taking it to do some type of thing that you only see fit your way. Yet if you was never around another bug, animal, or person, we will all still be doing it that same way anyway. So you're trying to make this world based upon what you got internally as your mind state, and then you haven't done enough shadow work, so there's things you don't like about yourself. So there's going to be things in the world you don't like that obviously hurt yourself also, mentally and physically. The inability to be in existence. So you get into this washing machine cycle of being able to be going into non-existence, not catering to the emotional stability that bends in and become the layers of the organ. So you have tough organ, tough skin, and tough mental layers. So you don't need the external drinking of other people's ideas in order for to be duplicated into something that you could create as a monetary gain. These are different coping mechanisms, all the way to the red pill on the lower scale to the highest scale, utilizing other people's energy and concept and their ability to attract other individuals based upon a talent or creative ability or whatever the case may be, and coming up with a coping mechanism that it's okay to take that intellectual property and utilize it in some type of manufacturing product where this value is only needed if it's on this type of platform or this program that's owned by someone else who's talented or talentless. You know what I'm saying? So for the most part, this goes with a lack of an individual development and going in reverse, going into evaporation, not participating with no energies it takes to even be here, not even the highest degree of water, relatability and synchronizing. So you're only synchronizing and being relatable to yourself and others who have that same damaged energy. Then you all fulfill your own pockets of vulnerabilities based upon having discussions. This word debating, masturbation come with it, things of that nature, where you're totally trying to get rid of the emotion inside and then practice that externally. Cast stones at women outside and then come up with this self-serving, self-pleasure concept, right? Where really it's just you being lost in your own mind, but still having grace by being alive to have enough other retards and reprobates agree with this concept to all go to hell. So there's a big old pocket of hell. So there's no concept of people dying and then going to meet in a world, in a dream world. No, the dream world is what spirits create, the mind, it condense and become this world, and you do that here, and then you always have this cycle to be able to produce that here. You're the Massasoit here. So when you get lost into your mind, it started from hiding and not having this ability in the first place and becoming a cosplayer. So this is where the seed come from also. So for the most part, this is where you could just be something that you drew, something that's just in your mind, and then for the most part, you don't see that in reality. It ain't like you can go there right now before you die. Why you can't dream and go meet with someone else without them knowing it once y'all wake up and tell each other and stuff like that. You can see your auntie in your dream, but you got to wake up and say, auntie, I seen you in my dream. Even if you're in a cult, y'all can come up with concepts and buildings and stuff like that, but it just mimics this world. So this is the world we create as the atmosphere condensing and becoming a material, and we got the idea to actually do that. If you're the cosplayer, you copied other people to do it, and then for the most part you only believe what you are based upon your mind. So this creates another layer where in the spiritual world, evaporation like a layer, and in the physical world, cope and red pill, I got more. So everything is in reverse, but this is how you are not promised coming back and of this world making it heaven, not you going to a mind state. You see what I'm saying? These are all narratives that people get lost in, which is the very concept of hell. So once a person get into that, they have to create a circumstance that allow other individuals' beliefs to be up under, and the only way it can be in a comfortable place is whoever created this structure. But then whoever created this structure is trying to play God without telling you, because if they tell you, then it would get rejected. But if they can act like it, then for the most part, it could be something where they can still act like they're God, but don't believe in it. So here's the concept of taking someone else's culture after you colonize them and using technology and force and slaughter and kill and rape and pillaging as a form to make these people call you their God in their mind, which is not considered a God at this time. Is this your culture and it's your union, and we're all up under one spirit. But then you have people that's coping and creating circumstances for their own degeneracy. So they take whatever a person believes, create a technology or manipulative way of doing it. Then when it actually happens or people get killed, the people or the witnesses is in some situation of saying either their God did it, or even if they do figure out the government did it, the government can say your God allowed me to do it. You see what I'm saying? And this is where they're building their first seeds of arguments to be able to cope and justify taking people's lands and continue to do it, and then consider God giving them the land. But when you think about what does it take, what do your God mean that how you get a land? Did you do something relatable that everybody just wanted to do it because it's a code idea? Or did you consider God gave you somebody's land because you made the biggest missile? You made the most efficient weapon. So that's just using God or other people's culture as a justification to do degeneracy, right? Based upon going back to the earlier seed, coming from a deserted land and having to come up with the idea to leave your homeland in the first place. So this were, before we even get into settler, colonizing, needing a ship, we're dealing with degeneracy as a seed. All right, now, when we get into the Bible. Now, the Bible is based off these actions being conducted before it's actually being written down in a Bible context. It's just basically written down in stories of a person who was with a general in the middle of colonizing and collecting these stories and things of that nature, right? Now, so the story is going to be in third person. It's going to always be about what these people believed on the continent. Then it's always going to be the thing that throw you off, that make the God the jealous, or make God seem like it ain't God and it's human, right? Those the parts that's plagiarized through the lens of the Jesuit, writing it down as we get into the late 1700s, 1800s, and 1900s. That's when the New King James Bible was created, and the Old Testament. Anytime you get into these every decade they're gonna come out with a Bible that was older than the Bible that they came out with decades before. You know what I'm saying? So it's letting you know their game is to confuse you, not to tell you the truth. So you get into a false truth. You know what I'm saying? But the whole thing is just about colonization and how they took over people's land. So they'll tell you a story about Africa, but it'll be about how they took over Native Americans' lands. Then they'll tell you about some Native American shit, feathers and shit, but then it'll be about how they took over Indian land. It's like they're mixing it all up. But it's them playing each of these roles. So if you got colonized in Africa, it's going to be Brita Kana man playing each of those gods. If you got colonized in Hindus, the Asians, Arab land, and this they plagiarizing y'all with Indians right now, the real Indians over here in North America. But for the most part, they're going to play all the plagues that y'all had in y'all mind for y'all to have y'all own government. They're going to exercise that in a degenerate way. And this is how y'all colonize right now. And they're playing your gods. And then that's how they did it over here in North America. So you get this where you get Jesus from Gizus. Here's where you get Jehovah from Yehovah. You know what I'm saying? Here's where you get Greek from Creek. You know what I'm saying? Here's where you get Hebrew from Sioux and things of that nature. So and the Hopi and the Ute and all, and then or even going down to Mexico and South America, Central America, all the way to North America and things of that nature. Right? So you're gonna get a lot of astrology over here, a lot of spiritual things. People walking on water. That's the Nibi walk. You know what I'm saying? Or the mini walk. It could be either one, Nibi walk or mini walk. That's what we used to do. Not actually walking on water, but walking by water. And then in the spirit, you're actually doing this stuff. Like all the spiritual system that white boy is in charge of speaking about and preaching about is the colonized version of Native American culture over here to work for them to play our gods and establish their remixed degenerate version of how we already had our Haudenosaunee Iroquois government, and then all the way down to the Central America. And then we had that type of, each confederation ran it the same way. It ain't just Haudenosaunee, they just popularized the Iroquois so much because they did a lot of the coon stuff before a lot of other Native Americans caught on and didn't go that far with creating in-house fights and stuff like that. So the people who the coons the most is the people that they praise the most in all ethnicities of people that they colonize. So understand that too. And then you're getting a remixed version of their history too, because in all actuality, these people did rebel and came to a conclusion. They were just one of the first ones that didn't realize what they was doing out of necessity of survival based upon degenerate actions that's starting to be brought in the world from people who fresh from hell. You know what I'm saying? Now, so when we get into the Bible is written for the American, they're trying to get everybody up under this one world thing so everybody could be up under the Abrahamic religion. And that's truly just controlled by the written authorship of the Jesuits from England. And this is who creating the Pilgrims, Jews, and Mason, and Illuminati, and all these different kind of concepts. But it's just them playing God. And so Memeth, or their God, is who got the best ability to create a circumstance where other people's beliefs could be on that shelf. So their physical God is the Pope, or whatever the case may be, and it's just a generative principle. It's just a idea. It's like a manifested destiny that a lot of people want to play out each role. So let's say you're taking from people culture, and then you create this title called God. So you got this image in your mind the way you think other people got in their mind when they were just minding their business, doing their culture the right way. Since you're degenerate, you have to create a synthetic version by default because you're on somebody else's land. So you can only compete, not have your own. So this is where it comes into the concept of the number system, any concept of NASA, spirit. You know, they're copying other individuals. So all you got to do is look at anything the government is doing, and you will be able to tie it to people who was doing that for real and just speaking about it based upon their culture. All the way till they tell you the Bible is written down and it's based off oral tradition. But the Native Americans, we the only ones who got oral tradition. They're writing something down and going by it based upon protocol. History speaks for itself. Ain't they always trying to carry out some goddamn duty and obligation? So if you came on our land and we said that we made a mistake, but it got something to do with our God, and then you replace yourself and write yourself in our culture, then make a history about it. So now it's playing out physically, replacing yourself in history. It's almost like you could slide in things like the reason we destroy you is because either we God or either your God allowed it. You know what I'm saying? It's like that kind of concept that they're trying to have people in. But the only means they can ground that on is slaughter and killing, degeneracy. Like you can't ground it on, you just had a cold ass ideology and someone thought about it. It was like, I want to do that. You know what I'm saying? Anytime you do stuff like that and people who got enough energy, good relationships get built, whether foreigner or not. Anytime it's just somebody degenerate, stupid, lost. Back in the day, they was drunks. You know what I'm saying? We get people here you get the starting seeds of their law being funded, and they get to protect individuals who degenerate. You know what I'm saying? And then create laws around things that they already doing. So it's like, do as I say, not as I do. So they could be the most extreme perverts, but they could lock up P. Diddy. They could be the most extreme murderers, but they could lock up you for protecting yourself. You see what I'm saying? So y'all look at it like that. Now, when it comes to each stationary of, now I get into detail over here because they ain't did nothing but copy every little system we had, all from the Nazis, and things of that. I mean, omnisciates. My bad. Sorry about that. Yeah, omnisciates and things of that nature, and all the way down to the Toltecs and shit, and going down to the Aztecs and then their chiefs and shit like that. So a lot of all they're doing is commander-in-chief, high priestess in religion, commander-in-chief, president. All this is sanctum and linguistic law, the 3 laws, and they leave out the 4th one, the people and things of that nature. You got a legislator, you got the legislator, the other 3, the judicial, and the other one, then the 4th one, for the people in this motherfucking shit. So they lead that out and shit like that, and then make you believe that you're part of something, and then put you into a situation where they're still copying the system of the people that was here in the first place. Now each order of a sanctum is as above, so below. So it's also dealing with astrology, astronomy, and anatomy, right? So here's where you get even the concept of NASA being created, or however the case may be. But each of these people that's just being degenerates and taking people's land, that's the only way you get rich. Taking people's resources, and at this time ain't no more resources. Everything is synthetic. So it's just taking creative ideas, and can we make a sport out of it? Can we make a narrative? It's all about talk. You know what I'm saying? If it ain't nothing to talk about, can't make no money at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like retarded shit. So at some point back in the day, it was worse. Now it's just talking, but now you see how people are willing to go to war for just talking. This is how dried up they are at the moment. It's like it's just ridiculous at this point. Ain't really no game at all. Just degenerates. But at the same time, when you look at it as a natural context, right? So all the way getting down to each judicial, each part of the government, each area, what you're actually just seeing is people cosplaying and figured out a way to create a game that they only could win in. So it's just cosplaying somebody's belief, and that's the only way that if I create something that their belief could work on, and they willing to do it, whether going down to a job, business, entertainment, education, religion, or politics. That's how I can think I'm God, but I don't believe in none of that shit. So that's why I can't actually just come out and say I'm God and I got this idea. So it's really an oxymoron, retarded way of thinking in the first place. But it's based off survival. Remember, we're going back to the necessities. This is based off survival. Now, so when we get into that, here's where you start to see a slavery tactic being played based upon just your belief. And when you don't have no beliefs, they have to force a belief on you. And when it's not a belief, they have to force a narrative based upon something that they could create a law against. But ultimately, it's this degeneracy, taking over somebody else's land and exercising racism. Now, so when you get into the actual cult or the government itself, it's the Bible. It's them practicing other people's culture and then trying to play that government, but it's their God is this synthetic thing that they made, that they all trying to carry out. So the main 2 things they got to step on is bribery. Bribery and the product of the bribery, right? And then for the most part, make you believe that your talent ain't the most important thing in this motherfucking shit. But other than that, there is no making money. There is nobody being able to say what they gonna do, and we ain't asking who paying for it. Because that's what you always need to ask. Who paying for it? And if they say it's our tax dollars, we need to be having a vote out system. If they say it's somebody using their own money, how they get that money? And why they over here fucking everything up? Shit like that. Go back home where you at. Use your money for that shit. And so none of these people are even making money morally. They're not making money in honorable ways and things of that nature, right? Anytime you steal and put somebody up under a situation to do what that they was doing anyway for you to even get rich, they ain't got enough ego to be like, I'm doing this. That ain't got nothing to do with money, but we know everything take money. We got to start asking who paying for it. I'm saying real shit. Who paying for it? You know what I'm saying? If you paying for it out your own pocket, how you get that money? You know what I'm saying? So anytime somebody in a situation where you getting blocked from something and you could clearly see somebody else getting ready to jump and do the same thing, especially if it's some situation where they got the network, they got the platform to be able to do it, you shut that shit down. You don't let nobody play no unfair game. You know what I'm saying? So for the most part, and that's just it. If ain't no laws around that, if ain't no linguistics around that, ain't no law. You just got motherfuckers creating laws as they go, winging it, and you just accept it based upon your punk ass mind. Now, when it comes to now that's God, what I just broke down. Anybody who ain't got that ain't got no God. You're trying to find an excuse for your degeneracy, and that goes for any ethnicity. You see what I'm saying? You can't fight the truth. Something is what it is, and it ain't what it ain't. You know what I'm saying? So for the most part, here's the thing. When it get into the synthetic energy of stuff, right? This is why you don't understand protocol. So the main two things that they got is to either make you believe in a religion or to bribe or to make money the discussion. These are the only two things that they think. They don't have control over this religion. They lost that. They never had control over it. And I guess they just now seeing it because we're online. See, back in the day, before online, you just had celebrities and stuff, and people do joining things based off necessity and survival. So you'll do a lot of things, but motherfuckers secretly know they being fooled in some way. May not even have a full context of how to explain it or whatever the case may be. But mad motherfuckers been around us Native Americans, or mad motherfuckers been over here long enough to realize there's some bullshit going on. And before you'd even have people like Malcolm X and shit. You know what I'm saying? So let's not get it fucked up. It's just online right now that they're doing the same system online, and that doesn't work online. So it's like when you're in a situation of trying to see, you can only be around someone you already bribed. And if a person is in bribery based upon, in their own mind, they're surviving, the bribery is not even the main focus. It's, I'm doing something for my family. And then a lot of times that's when they jump more in shit. And anyway, I'll probably shave off their head like Britney Spears or however the case may be. But a lot of times, it's never with the person who think they engineering something believe. It just be they belief, and then they go to hell, and then some other person go there and go to hell. Then some other person sit in that seat and go to hell, and then we see the whole group itself being lessened. Now you need more ethnicities. Now you need more ethnicities. Then before that, it's just everybody who was able to come back just in all these things, and everybody who created these things wash away. That's why I be saying be careful fighting over a land that's not yours, because you could be burying yourself here, like people who doing that at the forts, the Mayflower and stuff like that, right? And ain't nobody walking over these lands no more but me, Native Americans, other people who don't give a fuck about that shit and calling it degeneracy and stuff like that. So it's like you built something to praise yourself, you're not going to be able to come back to appreciate. And everybody who trying to build naturally and stuff like that, they come back anyway. So it's like that's the replenishing of the world. It's like a slow process, but it always happened every 300 years. You know what I'm saying? So the same amount of people 300 years ago, like the same amount of people here, is just in small increments, and then it do a washing machine cycle, then they all here. You know what I'm saying? Like we was different men back in the day, 200 years ago, 300 years ago, and shit. Like we was different men. Now I can only speak for Native Americans and shit. I can't speak for nobody else and shit, but like we was different men. You know what I'm saying? In today's time, I don't even see that in government. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever the case may be. Like when we think about people coming over here, what they believe or whatever the case may be, and colonizing that, they was the ones on the field too. Andrew Jackson was on the field. Henry Harrison was on the field. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't no this new circumstance of a general sitting back eating hamburgers, no president looking like they getting ready to be sick if they ain't already sick with prostate cancer and shit like that. Nah, it wasn't that. It wasn't that. You know what I'm saying? It really wasn't that. A lot of times the general would be a young man, 20, 25, 26 and shit, based upon because he killed all the buffalo and shit and killed a lot of Native Americans and shit. And we ain't saying we need to go back in those days and shit. I'm just saying that's what it was back in the day. Yo, it wasn't synthetic, even if it was degenerate. Back in the day, it was more genuine. Right now, everything's synthetic. Even genuine reactions. Somebody programmed that and things of that nature. So we got to keep that in mind. And then we'll be in a situation where we'll be all lost, and then we be in a formation of, damn, oh, history is this or history is that, and then you don't care about it no more, and a lot of that shit happened to you. You know what I'm saying? A lot of that shit puts you into a situation, and you don't care about it, but you'll be telling other people that they need to be quiet. Ain't nobody doing nothing to you, or they need to shut up complaining or something like that. Like what y'all hear a lot of these foreigners doing. Like I'm saying, a lot of these foreigners will come over here and just start telling y'all, ain't nothing happening to y'all. No, colonization ain't do nothing. Yo monkey ass. You know what I'm saying? That don't mean they ain't doing nothing to everybody else. So you got to keep that shit in mind too. And then y'all be motherfucking lost and shit like that and be thinking that shit ain't happened to you and be casting stones at other people because it was happening to them a little longer. But if it happened to your monkey ass probably like 10 years, 20 years from now, shit like that, you'll find your ass thinking that you Malcolm X and you had a motherfucking dream or some goddamn shit. And you didn't have a dream about shit. You just start realizing you gonna die in debt. And ain't no reason why you got, it's some circumstance that somebody keep updating every 2 years to seem like you're gonna be more in debt. That's what your ass woke up to. You ain't wake up to shit else. You know what I'm saying? So that's we gotta get that clear too. So it's like a whole hierarchy system that motherfucker, if you ain't with that shit, then for the most part, it ain't got nothing to do with their pocketbook. You know what I'm saying? So yo, I'm live. So you gotta peep game. You'll be in a situation where you fighting for somebody else's pocketbooks, and you fighting for somebody else's kids to go to school for free, to go to college for free, and then you struggling and shit to go there and shit, and then you got to sit there and open up your mouth and cast stones at somebody else because they complaining about their culture being crippled or some case. You not even paying attention. You're not even paying attention to your circumstance and shit. And do you got anything to leave? And is your goddamn offsprings is gonna be in the same situation you was in when you was 18? You don't even think like that. You know what I'm saying? And, but you don't know where to start to look at it. So I'm not saying you got to get up and go fight the government or anything of that nature. I'm just telling you what it is. Y'all be reading the Bible, and the Bible is the Jesuits wrote it in a way for you to anytime you preach, anytime you teach, you're basically saying the government is God. That's what you're saying. And so you're willing to accept all the degeneracy white people doing. So don't separate it though. And I'm not saying white people in your hood or neighborhood or suburbs or something like that. I'm talking about white people in government. They got books. They're the lazy descendants at the moment, but they got books that teach them just how to be God. And it ain't God. It's just get a territory and figure out how to cook. This is what they call it, cook. This is why they got the apron, stealing it from Native Americans. You know what I'm saying? Stealing it from my culture. But for the most part, it's just taking the ideas and the fruit of the land. But here's the thing. Let's say if I ain't come up with nothing in the land yet, that could be a fresh new fruit, a fresh new nut, a fresh new medical or something like that. They have nothing to colonize. You see what I'm saying? It's like that. Now, let's say I come up with something. They come up with a spooky story about that thing being a water god or some shit like that, right? And then poison y'all water or poison one of y'all plants, and then get on a news channel and say it may have something to do with Zeus. You see what I'm saying? Poseidon. So now you get the trick. They don't believe none of this shit. They're just using it for capitalism. The end. So they have to force you to think it's important. But if you can't make money morally, you really ain't nobody in no position in any capacity. You know what I'm saying? It's like just as simple as that. You can't really tell. So that's how you separate what's degeneracy or not, or whatever the case may be. Like a person that can't be sitting up here, their main stone casting right now is woman. I think weed and woman or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But you can't be in those positions if you got a whole tobacco corporation, whole liquor corporation, liquor stores everywhere. Then Arabs in them. You ain't even got the people you casting stones at running them. But it's just all degenerate. Like if I was to get into real like details, and the devil right there. It's like it's very simple, all the way down to individuals, because you can't act like nothing else. It's just self-projecting. So I would even decline anybody even go into that. But it's very simple. But at the same time, it's just like when we talk about morality and stuff like that, it's either a right way to do something or a wrong way to do something, whether Yehovah around or not, motherfucker. Like you inside Yehovah. You ain't have to call that God. You ain't have to come up with no coping mechanism, whatever like that, or whatever the case may be. You can believe what the fuck you want to believe. You a person, and you got them a spirit and a mind and a body. You a space inside of a mind and inside of a body. And so it's a right way to think, a wrong way to think, a right way to act, a wrong way to act. Just as such as it's a right way to drink water, it's a wrong way to drink water, bitch. It's a right way to fuck, it's a wrong way to fuck. You know what I'm saying? So just because that motherfucking thing that you want to make in your mind up ain't around to tell you, you don't get to just learn off your own understanding, bitch. You know what I'm saying, bro? That's when you understand that. Ain't no learning your own understanding that got something to do with the fucking book. The word ain't a word at all. I'm supposed to know what mind state of person in to make a book. So any word in it, I understand the starting point, even if I don't know the language. You know what I'm saying? Oh, this motivated you to write a book. You got the ego of wanting somebody to understand what you got going on. And if you wrote a whole book, that's investing. So before I even read the book, what's the outcome of this? You was motivated deeply to write the book to get something off your mind. You could have got it off another way. And what is this outcome? You know what I'm saying? For you to be that invested. So before I even read any book, I'm already going to see if you're trying to make me a slave of your mind or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Simple. Or you'll be motivated to do something else. Bitch, I like fucking. I'm motivated to fuck. I ain't had no time to write the book. You see what I'm saying? You was motivated to write the book. Why are you writing the book? Why are you being a nerd and shit like that? Why you can't just tell me the real? You think you got it in your mind? Why you couldn't just tell me that instead of you want me to read the book? You know what I'm saying? Get you a little flaunt. You get a little flaunt. You know what I'm saying? Shit. It's simple. I like to look at stuff real clear, direct, clear, pure waters. That's the pure water. So when you drink it from YAHLHO pure water, it's you're in equilibrium. So it's like you're fighting with fire, and your relatable energy is blended in. Your ego, divine masculine, and your vulnerability, divine feminine, is blended in. Divine and emotional intelligence is blended in. So this is what it looked like to be the phoenix, where I can look like the most negative thing, but still be the most positive thing. So you can't put me in any of those positions. The little pieces of percentage scale, you can pluck out what you think is negative that you see through other people. You see, I ain't doing it that way. I got a different spirit backing me. Any of the positive thing that you think you see I'm doing, anybody you can see with that same percentage scale, you say, I ain't doing it the same. I got another spirit behind me. So I'm showing you from the great spirit or the holy ones that it ain't these things at all. Y'all lost in y'all biases and shit like that. Bitch, just come correct. None of these things got anything to do with is you doing something the right way or you doing something the wrong way. Y'all lost in good and bad. I don't give a fuck what's good to your bias. I don't give a fuck what's bad to your bias. And your fuck out of ass opinion. Bitch, you don't drink water then. Bitch, go ahead and dehydrate. Then tell me whatever your bias when you don't need no water. You just all comfortable in Jehovah and God and stuff like that and relax and nurture and somebody birthed your ass and I don't know how and shit like that. What gave the father the mind state to even be horny by your mother and shit like that. But at somehow shit like that, just stop drinking and dehydrating then live or something like that and then tell me your reprobate thought without water that's still the same percentage scale of the same area in the spiritual world. You in the same space. You know what I'm saying? You're just in a comfort zone. You're just in a older age and saying, I want to do this in the 4th grade that I ain't know all these things in the 4th grade. Let me go back and start graping bitches. That's it. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Sarah. Oh, that's some stockings. Oh, that's a bucket. Oh, that's a cloak. No. That's a crown. That's an eyeball. No. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? I speak game and shit like that. But yeah, the whole world is a comedian joke. Whole world. You know what I'm saying? Even murder. Murder ain't no joke, but you know what I'm saying? This is how you get over stuff and be able to look at things like, you know, you're always going to be here anyway. So is you on the right side of the universe or not? You know what I'm saying? Western Hemisphere. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to New Warrior, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. You got to be on the right side. You know what I'm saying? That means when you took your left-hand path, you took accountability and responsibility for what you left behind. So as a spirit, you rotate to the left on a vision quest. You realize everything you emanate that we think is forward, up, down, left, right, back is just a spirit in its own cycle. And when you go to the left, you actually create awareness, a new awareness to go in, enter, and then you exit out of. You doing that same kind of concept, enter, exit. So when you don't take accountability or responsibility, you leave behind. It's like you left behind taking your left-hand path, things that you have caused that was degenerate if it wasn't relatable. If it's something you left behind in the mind state is relatable, that becomes a physical form you always could come back in. Your dragon eats its tail, but more expanded, and you show other people how to make that mind and be a better organ, and now y'all can be human, not just alligators and monkeys and lions, tigers, and bears, and wolves. Little bumblebees and shit. Little wasps. Slavics and shit. You know what I'm saying? But look, for the most part, right? So you'll realize that, oh, it's about equilibrium. Every time I take that step to the left, every little step I take, we will be there. Every little step I take, we will be there. You know what I'm saying? Hold on that. Form that ass Aquarius, Bobby Brown. But like I said, right? Otter man. But look, boom. So when any inch you take, you know what you're leaving behind. You're supposed to take responsibility for that, even if it's a thought that you know another person could think that's retarded, and that can lead on to a chain of events to get you lost, and you get more imploded, not more expanded in your cycle, to show others how to get expanded in their cycle. Teamwork makes the dream work. We all create that expanded mentality, atmosphere, environment, and then we could have an organ relative to that perspective and things of that nature. But if we stay small, then our layers get less, and then we stay condensed in this existence, while other things like me just be running everything. Spiritual world, all kind of shit. Because don't ever believe nobody in a cult is down here saying I'm back and know anything about where they think they going, stealing from our people, stuff like that. The amount of retarded shit I didn't see and shit like that, or they would have been even telling y'all about this. Everything they teach y'all is some copy of shit, and at the end, I don't know. I don't hear all that shit. All that bullshit. Bitch, you even know you don't know. You know you go to sleep. You know you dream, bitch. You know you created the seed for you to be experiencing that mathematical procedure of that type of dream, or that type of scenario, or that type of situation. You know what I'm saying? For an example, if I got manipulated, that wasn't my dreams leading up to me getting manipulated. It was whatever I'm doing. The person who was manipulating had dreams and stuff like that of how to do it and how not do it, or whatever the case may be. So that's their own world. They try to push on somebody else in some way. They don't got none of that person in hell already before they die. They just think they getting over in the physical world because they think there's a place to go, or don't believe it's a place to go. But they go to that place every day, bitch, your mind. Even when you wake wide awoke, imagine you go to that place every day. Your damn mind. That's the only thing your spirit in, bitch. I don't care what the fuck you talking about. You gonna have to work hard writing shit down to be like, when my brain shut off, I don't think. When my heart shut off, there is no imagination. Aren't they hard as shit? I wish somebody thought like that before your father had that punk ass thought. Bring your punk ass in existence. Shit, I'm working hard right now to eradicate any degenerate thought right now. That's the mathematic motherboard right there. Degenerate. You ain't got to exist. Trust me. Pack your little bags right now while you own her. Bitch, over that. Never coming back. Over that. You did something the wrong way. Thought. That's it. You thought the wrong way. Created too many thoughts. The spirit gonna never get out of that web. I told you to think that much. You know what I'm saying? God ain't tell us to think that much. God gave us the ability to think. God thinks, so we got the ability to think. That's it. God gave us the ability to lift our arm. That's it. You wanna? My elbow is the miraculous, the Kapala, the Hasha Hama Hama Homama, Kika Taba Taba. If everybody did the shit, I see why all squirrels and human beings look like walking hamburger sandwiches and shit. I see it. I see why y'all look like steak hoagies. I see it. I see it right now. The whole world about the elbow now and shit. I said that's how I look at it when y'all use your mind. Y'all just lost. Oh, I can't see my mind, but I think. Oh, 2,000 years worth of debates and arguments we need to create. Oh, retarded. You thought already. Fucking retarded. Jesus Christ, y'all retarded. I'll say, but yay. The last time I checked, a monkey think, a bee think. So it just must be different forms of thinking. So yeah, bee had a mathematical thought that condensed. They had the organ and stinger. A monkey had the mathematical thoughts. They've been there. They came comprehendingly retarded, throwing shit everywhere. You know what I'm saying? A giraffe had the mentality thought and came and the whole long neck. You know what I'm saying? It was whole. I wish a lot of women had that. A lot of time, but she was saying shit like that though. The spirit world, you gotta create the mathematical mind state, and then it condenses and become the organ. Then you get to be on this washing machine cycle and do it better and better and better every time, better and better. So that let y'all know dinosaurs didn't exist, bitch, unless it's me. I was the only dinosaur that turned into a bird, bitch. I'll tell you that right now. I'll say they done brought y'all in my world. They done killed us and put us all on the star or the flag and shit. They had the nerve to say, hey, y'all, we about to put y'all in space and shit. We about to create technology and put y'all in space. Y'all ain't did nothing but put people back in native world. What the fuck all you did? No, better than that. Now, I use it better than you. You know what I'm saying? Same way y'all brought horses over here. I use it better than you. You know, better than that. That's it. Anything else you want to build for me? God damn it. Anything else you want to build for me? Shit. I need skyscrapers and shit like that and shit. I'm going to track out the eon year, that year. Okay, this year 300, this year 730, this year 400. I'm going to be the only one living on that building. Shit. So, okay, this year 100 right now. All right, put in the foot mathematical mother chip procedure board code. Put this in. Make them feel they feel good about it. Click enter. You know what I'm saying? Click. I need St. Louis to have a big arch. Click enter. You know what I'm saying? Shit, what else? Like click. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do. Only program this world right. Click. You know what I'm Enter. Click. It'll take about 600 years or something like that. But shit, once I'm back, baby. You know what I'm saying? I get tired after a while building shit myself. It'll make other humans think they doing it and shit. Even if they think they killing and slaughtering. Who gives a fuck? I'm saying there should be some little dirt mass I walk on or something like that if I want to decide to build again in that new world. Or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, well, create online YouTube. Click, enter. You know what I'm saying? Don't say shit. All right, y'all ain't about to forget about Tecumseh. You know what I'm saying? Shit. Motherfucker. And I love all y'all from the bottom of my heart. You better motherfucker believe it. Flight boss, bitch, you know. For sure. You're not listening to the Mind of that Terry's move. I'm the Royal Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry God duties and motherfucker responsibilities. Shooting star, lightning. Like, God damn it, don't go no further than that and shit like that. Let me go ahead and get ready.